Hello everyone. Today, inshallah, we are going to start learning lesson 29, which is percent. So, first of all, we want to know what is the meaning of the word percent. So the suggest name is to divide this one into two parts. So the first part is per, the second one is cent. Per means every and cent means 100, which means we will compare the part for every 100 piece. And the sign which we are going to give it to this one is the sign percent. To this sign, it will express percent. Now, we said that what the meaning of percent. Okay, so we want to compare a part to 100 piece. If I have a chart like this, and I want to eat I want to eat a quarter of this chocolate. We will imagine that this one is a chocolate and we want to eat quarter of the chocolate. Then we have to color the part which I'm going to eat. So now, how we will express this one in a fractional form. In a fractional form, I already take 1 out of how many? 1 out of 4. Then this is a fractional form. If I want to express this fractional form in a percentage form, as I said, percentage form means that you are going to compare the part out of 100 pieces. Then we will try to divide now this bar into 100 pieces. Then we will check if I will change this one into small pieces. So this is now, I have the length and I have the width. Then we can count together here how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we have also in the height 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we want to count how many pieces inside this quarter. Then start to count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. We continue. Okay, 11, 12, 13, 14. And we can say that here I have 5 and I have 5. So 5 times 5, it will be equal 25, which means the part which actually eaten in this one is 25 out of how many? Yes, out of 100. Then if I want to express this one as a percent, so it will be 25%. If I want to express this one in a fractional form, as I said, all the chart consists of 100 small pieces, and the part which is already eaten was 25, so I can say 205 over 100. So how this fraction change into percent? I can say if I have a fraction and I want to change the fraction into percent, so we can say quarter times 100 over 100. The first 100, this is the short, and the second one for the simple 400. So it will be 25 over 100. Then we can say once you have a fraction and you want to change this fraction into percent, so we can multiply by 100 over 100. Then the percent is the numerator of a fraction whose denominator is 100. Then now we want to know how we can change percent into decimal. Now the number which is written in front of us is 50%. And we want to know how we can change this 50% into decimal. Then first we have to
do the computation, to do the arithmetic. Well, I'm going to show you how to do that. So our first step is just to eliminate the percentage sign. Then we're going to move the decimal point 2 places to the left. And you might say, I don't see a decimal point. But let me tell you a little secret. Every number has a decimal point. Sometimes it's in the beginning, sometimes it's in the middle, and sometimes it's at the end. If it's at the end of the number, it almost always is invisible, but it's still there. It's just invisible. So we're going to write it in to remind us that it's there, even though it's invisible. We're going to move it 2 places to the left. 1, 2. You always move it 2 places to the left. And you might say, how will I remember what direction to move it? Well, what I do is I think about the alphabet. The alphabet is something we all know. It's been in front of the classroom forever. You probably sang songs about it in kindergarten. So when you look at the alphabet, D is to the left of P, and the word decimal starts with D, and the word percent starts with P.
So as you see, we want to know how we are going to change the the percent into decimal. Then every number has a point, decimal point. It could be at the left, it could be at the middle, it could be in the right. But if you can't see the decimal point, so it's invisible. So we will imagine that we have the point here before zero, and percent means that you have to move to the left side 2 digits. What about if you don't, or if you confused where we have to move to the left or to the right? Then you can look at the alphabet list. Here you will find D, which is donated for decimal. You can find B, which is donated for percent. To move from P to D, I want to change from percent into decimal, so we can move to the left side 2 digits. Let's continue together.
So when we're going from percent to decimal, we go 2 places to the left because D is to the left of P. So here's our 50%. Let's do it again very quickly. You eliminate the sign. You move your decimal point that's invisible. You move it 2 places to the left because you're going from percent to decimal, P to D.
Now we will move to another part, solving percent problems using proportions. Then please, you can write this in your notebook, that we will imagine that we are going to compare by using the word is and the word of. Let's watch together and then we will discuss about it.
Take notes on this. Now, I've been telling you that you need a math notebook, but if you don't have one, we will pause the video so that you can pick up some paper right now. Okay, when we have to solve percent problems, they can be kind of confusing. Unless you remember this very simple little trick, is over of. Is over of. I'll show you some examples. I'd like you to write down the problem, and we'll pause so that you can try to solve it after we get past the first one. But you've got to write down the problems. I'm collecting these notes, so do this. You can solve all of these percent problems by setting up a proportion, and it looks like this. You've got the number that you're given for the percent over 100, because that's how percent works. It's out of 100 parts. Then is over of as your other ratio.
So in this part, in any question, we can change it into proportions. How you will translate the question, please memorize this rule. Percent, the number which it has a percent sign, over 100 equal is over of. Let me give you an example.
Show you. Here's the part that you write down. 25% of what number is 6?
I want everyone now to think with me how we are going to distribute this sentence in this rule. Try to find it by yourself first. We have to classify the word percent. Where is the number? Ask yourself, where is the number before it? 100, this is standard. Where is the number after the word is? And where is the number after the word of? What about if you don't have the number after the word of or the word is? So you have to donate it by the letter X, which is unknown variable.
Now I just have to remember this proportion. So they give me 25%, which means I plug in 25. The 100 always stays the same. And it goes is over of. So they tell me is 6, which means 6 goes on the top. And of what number? Of what number is my variable, the number I'm trying to find. So now I solve this like I would solve any proportion. 6 times 100 equals 600 divided by 25. X equals 24. And I can check my answer using number sense. They're asking me 25% of what number is 6. So I can ask myself, well, is 6 25% of 24? Why, yes, it is. I've done that correctly.
Let's move to another question. It's your turn, please. Try to answer this question. What percent of 40 is 28? Which one is missing here? Ask yourself, which one is missing in this sentence? And which one we can find it? Look here, you can find after the word of, I have 40, after the word is 28, and I don't have percent. I don't have any number before the word percent. So he's looking for what percent, right? And is represent a part from the whole. So if I want to simplify or to describe here, which one is the part and which one is the whole? So 28 is the part, 40 is the whole. And I want to know what percent of 40 is 28. Then, as I said, we will simplify here. We will start. The denominator is 100. The numerator, it's an unknown variable. And we will put first the numbers which we have. So this is X, unknown variable, because I can't find any percent in the question. And then the word is, so I'm going to put 28, and then of, I'm going to put 40. Then cross product, or we can say 100 times 28 divided by 40. So the answer, it will be equal 70. So 28 is 70% of 40. 28 is 70% of 40. So we can say 70 over 100, or we can 28 over 40.
Proportions are just equivalent fractions. So one way I can test it is to simplify both of these and see if I have the right numbers. 70 and 100 can both be divided by 10. So that would give me 7 tenths. And 28 and 40 can both be divided by 4. So that would also give me 7 tenths. So I did my math correctly. Next problem. 15% of 60 is what number? Write down the problem, try it, and I will go over the solution. I'm given the 15%. The 100 always stays the same. There's my equal sign. Of 60, I know that of goes on the bottom. And is what number? There's my variable. Is goes on the top. So 60 times 15 divided by 100. I'm left with x equals 9. So I ask myself, is that a reasonable answer? Could 9 be 15% of 60? Well, I know 0% of 60 would be 0. And 50, not 15, but 50% of 60, that would be half of 60. So that would be 30. So yeah, 9 is pretty reasonable. That makes sense to me. I hope you're seeing that is over of makes these pretty simple. We're working our way up to word problems.
So I think now it becomes easy to answer any question related to the percent. What percent of 20 is 18? Remember, is over of, is over of. Then quickly, what percent of 20 is 18? Then this is percent over 100. Where is? After is we have 18 and after of we have 20, and we will use the same way to solve
So even
the
then, I think
question.
you'll be able to see that 18 times 100, that is a reasonable answer. Okay, on to the word problems. This is what we need to be able to solve.
So let's move to the word problem. Okay, please concentrate.
We understand is over of, I hope. You don't have to write down this full problem, but I want you to try this problem on your own. Mr. Thompson has 33 math students. 21.21%, so 21 and 21 hundredths of a percent, have A's. How many of Mr. Thompson's math students have A's? So try it. The 100 is still the same. We just have to figure out which numbers that we're given go where in our is over of proportion. So give it a try. So I have 33 math students. That's my total. So the total would go on the bottom. 21.21% of that total have A's. And I'm asked how many students have A's. So this is kind of a key concept here, that when we set up a proportion for percentage, we have the number out of 100. 100 is the total. When you look at these problems, you're going to have a number out of the total. So I can do a little bit of math here. 33 times 21.21.
Divide by 100.
So I get 6 to have 6 students and then a fraction of a student. So I would round this up to 7. X is 7 students. And your answer should have labels. Should be able to.
Okay, so this is how we can solve word problems. You are going to distribute, we will translate the word problems into a formula. As I said, the formula is percent over 100 equal is over of. Here in this question, as you see, Mr. Thompson has 33 math students. So this is represent the total. As I told you, this the numerator represent the part, denominator represent the total. Then we will replace the total by 33, and then we are looking for the part because the question said how many of Mr. Thompson's math students have A's, right? So this is how we can use percent in our real life and how we can solve the questions with percent. I hope that you understood. Inshallah, today we have homework in our workbook, page 17, which is related to lesson 2 9. Thank you so much for your watching.